Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my intuitive eating series, and we're going to be talking about how to reject the diet mentality. But first, I need to explain what that is. If you find yourself constantly worrying about how you look, what you're eating, and whether you've been good or bad based on your food choices, that is the diet mentality. It's that voice in your head that judges everything you eat and makes you feel guilty when you eat a slice of pizza or a donut or when you gain 2 pounds overnight. It makes you obsessed with things like calorie counting and weighing yourself. I don't know anyone who's completely immune to that mindset. We've all seen a cookie and thought, wow, that looks really good, but I shouldn't have it. It's really bad for me. But as I'm sure you know from experience, over time, what started as a level 2 craving becomes a level 10. And then, before you know it, you've eaten a whole sleeve of Oreos. Then you feel guilty and ashamed because you know you shouldn't have eaten that many, and so you tell yourself, okay, no more cookies from here on out. This is what's called a restrict binge cycle, and it's one example of the type of disordered eating patterns that the diet mentality promotes. The diet mentality is really hard to escape, especially with society's constant glorification of thinness, telling you that it's better to be in a smaller body no matter the cost. And try as we might, it's going to be hard to convince society to change their beliefs. Unfortunately, I think that's a losing battle, but what you can do is change your beliefs about yourself. What would it be like to not constantly have to second guess your food choices or feel guilty about indulging once in a while? Instead of relying on restrictive diets, being able to make food choices that truly nourish and satisfy you. What would it be like to trust your body to tell you when it's hungry and when it's full? For some people, this seems like a fantasy, but it's not. That's the power of intuitive eating. It's like your own personal GPS guiding you towards a more fulfilling and sustainable relationship with food, and it can help you break free from this obsession with your body's appearance. So let's talk about some benefits of letting go of dieting. How does this benefit you? Why should you care? I really feel, at least in my life, that it's helped me unlock a world of freedom and happiness that I had a hard time seeing when I was counting crackers to make sure I only ate 1 serving size, and when I was constantly weighing myself to see if my weight went down from the day before. When you can just let go and trust your body to make food choices that'll nourish it and make you feel good, you'll see a direct positive impact on your physical health and happiness. You'll experience less stress and anxiety as the guilt and shame around food disappears. You'll see increased self-esteem and confidence, feeling better in your own skin and breaking free from unrealistic body standards. And when you're not trying to restrict or cut out foods from your life, you'll be able to really enjoy and savor them more. You'll stop fearing food and start loving it again. It's a journey towards self-compassion, self-acceptance, and overall health and wellness. So we're all in agreement. We want to say goodbye to the diet mentality and hello to intuitive eating, right? The first step is becoming aware of the common traps of dieting and learning how to avoid them. There are 2 types that you have to look out for: common dieting tools and pseudo dieting tools. Let me take you through some so that you can know the difference. Common diet tools are things like calorie counting. This is a big one. Intuitive eating says that you should just ditch calorie counting in favor of listening to your body's hunger and fullness cues. Counting every calorie can drive you fucking crazy, trust me. For most people, the best strategy is just focusing on nourishing your body with a balance of nutrient-dense foods that make you feel good. I do want to inject one quick caveat and say that as a personal trainer, I found that for some clients looking to make changes to their body size, monitoring their food intake can be helpful in the short term, but it should never be a long-term strategy. And if it leads to you becoming hyper-fixated on it and measuring out condiments and spices, you need to kick it to the curb. Next, restrictive dieting. Have you ever told anyone, I can't eat that, it's bad for me? Please eliminate that from your vocabulary from here on out. In a future video, we'll talk about making peace with food, but for now, suffice to say that there is no such thing as healthy and unhealthy food. It's just food. Sure, broccoli is more nutritious than a fruit roll-up. I think we can all admit that, but it doesn't mean that one is good and the other is bad. A healthy diet can include both in moderation. Food doesn't have moral value, so stop labeling foods off limits. Once you learn that you can eat anything, you won't feel the temptation to eat everything. Do try to focus on eating mostly nutrient-dense foods, but once in a while, include a piece of pie. That's good for your soul. Constant weight tracking and negative self self-talk are also tools of dieting that keep us stuck in this cycle of restriction and guilt. How about instead finding and celebrating non-scale victories, focusing on setting goals that align with your values and what makes you happy, like becoming more active or feeling more confident in the skin that you're in? Other big tools of dieting, using detox teas or juice cleanses to detox your body. They just make you shit yourself and you feel skinny for a little while. That's it. That's it. They're a temporary fix because they don't address the underlying emotional and psychological issues that often drive those disordered eating behaviors. And there are countless other tools of dieting as well. The key is to be aware of these tools and to recognize when they're holding you back from developing a healthy relationship with food and your body. So if you can think of any other tools of dieting that you've used or seen others use, leave them in the comments below. Pseudo-dieting tools are things that are often hidden and hard to recognize as diet tools because they look like you're just making healthy lifestyle changes, but in reality, you're just stuck in that restrictive eating cycle. One big example is when you cut out entire food groups like carbohydrates or fats, thinking that's a healthy way to eat. Everyone has that aunt who's doing keto, and it's working great for her, right? The truth is, by ex-naying entire groups of foods, you're missing out on important nutrients, and you'll end up just feeling deprived and eventually binging on all those carbs you've been avoiding. I'm telling you, it's inevitable. Another example is when you only eat clean foods and avoid eating unclean foods. Guys, the only unclean foods are foods you drop in the dirt, okay? By cutting out normal, accessible foods you deem unclean, you might be missing out on important nutrients, and you're definitely exacerbating an unhealthy relationship with food. Here's one I bet you haven't thought of: joining toxic workplace weight loss challenges that pit coworkers against each other to see who can lose the most weight in 30 days. These challenges often involve restrictive eating, excessive exercise, and unrealistic expectations, which can lead to disordered eating behaviors and an unhealthy relationship with food and exercise. They also cause harm to your body and sometimes even lead to injuries. Here's another: obsessing over macros. Oh my God, don't tell the fitness community. Yes, it's important to have a balanced diet. We want to make sure you're getting enough protein, carbs, and fats, but obsessing over those numbers can lead again to disordered eating patterns and an unhealthy relationship with food. A lot of these pseudo-dieting tools may seem like a healthy way to eat, but it's just a new version of the same old restrictive dieting. And restrictive dieting is not fun. So drop it and listen to what your body is telling you. The sooner you learn that dieting and weight loss is not the key to happiness and success, the more at peace you'll be. I hope you found this video informative and helpful in your journey towards rejecting the diet mentality. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And as always, feel free to drop a comment below with any questions or thoughts. Take care, and I'll see you next time for part 3, honoring your hunger. All right. So if you want to say goodbye, peace out.